Hi, Debbie here. We're going to be having another year of Crack the Vault 2026. The goal is to use products we've had for 6 months or longer, or products we've never used, and there is no theme. So what we're going to be doing is uploading our videos the third Friday of every month at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will also have a link in the description box below of all the participants. Well, this is going to be a little different for me. As you can see, I have this cheesecloth. So what am I going to be doing with this cheesecloth? Ta-da! My husband bought me these butter molds. So I am going to be making butter. Not that it's hard, but I got the butter molds and I figured, you know what, I got to make butter. I might as well just share it with you. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be making some butter, putting them in the molds, and see how they turn out. So let me go ahead and set everything up in the kitchen and we'll go through the process. Okay, so in the bowl I have a container of heavy whipping cream, and that's all you really need to make butter, is just a good whipping cream. So I'm going to go ahead and, where's my thing? Go ahead and start whipping this. I'm actually standing on a stool because I have my tripod really high so I can see. So I'm going to be whipping this, and I'm going to let it get really thick, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. It's starting to look like whipped cream right now, but I have to keep going because when it turns into butter, it's going to be one big piece of butter. So I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, this is not quite buttered yet, but I just wanted to turn the machine off so that you could actually hear me talking. But you can see that it's starting to turn like yellow right here. Now it's actually starting to turn into the butter. Now this will also make buttermilk, and I will use that to make pancakes. But let me finish, making this butter. And so yeah, let me do that. Here you can see, I don't know, you see the liquid? Yeah, that's the buttermilk. I just needed to scrape down the sides here. Let it keep going some more. Not quite ready yet. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. Okay, well, we have butter. So what I need to do is I'm going to take it out of this, and you can see, I don't know if you can see all the, see all that buttermilk? Yeah. So I need to take it out of here, and I need to put it in a cheesecloth, and then I need to rinse it really well with ice water. So let me get that ready. Okay, so I do use my hands. It's for my family, so my hands are clean. But what you do is I got to take out this, squeeze out the butter, and you got to squeeze out as much as the liquid as you can. Just squeeze out the liquid, and then I'm going to set it on a cheesecloth. There's a cheesecloth right here. I don't know if that's not in camera, but there is a cheesecloth right here. I'm setting it in there. So I'm just going through and getting out, squeezing the butter. And I got to get out as much of the butter as I can. And then before I put the buttermilk in a container, I will strain it to make sure I have, no pieces, no chunks of butter in it like that. So let me go ahead and finish getting all the butter out of here, and then we'll go, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, I have my butter in this cheesecloth, and I'm going to squeeze it really good. And what I'm going to be doing, I have this container here, it has ice water, and what I need to do is I need to dip it in the ice water, and I need to keep squeezing the butter because I got to get all that extra, buttermilk out of there. I got to squeeze it real, and it has to be ice water because if the water is too warm, it'll just melt your butter. So I need to do that and clean it really well, because they say if you don't do this step, your butter could turn rancid, and I definitely don't want that. So I'm just taking it in the cheesecloth, and I'm just squeezing and squeezing and dipping it in ice water, and I'm supposed to just keep squeezing out until it becomes clear, and then and then I'll put it in the mold. So let me continue doing that, and we'll go to the next. Okay, so let me unwrap the butter. And what I'm going to do now is I guess I just take, because this is, you know, I have never done this before either, so I'm just going to be pushing them into the molds, just like you would if you were, you know, a mold with clay or, you know, whatever you're going to do with your molds. It's kind of like doing that. And I wasn't sure how many of these I was going to get, so I'll just fill them all up. So I run out of butter. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to put them in the freezer and let them freeze. And then I'll take them out of the mold and then just wrap them and leave them like that. So yeah, so this is, so let me finish putting these in the mold and see how many I get. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so 1 quart of heavy cream made 2 of these, so that's like a cup of butter. I think each one of these is a half a cup. So yeah, so I have these come with a little covering, so I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to put them in the freezer and see how they turn out. Okay, now with the buttermilk, I am going to strain it into this cup here. I'm just going to strain it. You don't want any of that butter in there. And then I'm going to, I have a container here. And then I'm just going to pour it into this container here. And I have buttermilk for pancakes. I also use buttermilk in a lot of my baking recipes too. So yeah. So let's see how the butter turned out from the freezer. Okay, well the butter is frozen. It is frozen. Okay, so I'm going to pop these out of this mold. See how I did packing these in. I guess I can turn it upside down. I got a piece of wax paper here on the counter. There's that one. And there it is. That one. So I've got 2. So I've got 2 here. So I'm just going to wrap them up and move that out of the way. So they turned out pretty good. Let me bring it up to the camera a little bit so you can see. So it turned out pretty good. My first time. So I'm just going to wrap them in plastic. You can wrap them in parchment paper. I'm just going to wrap them up. Come on, throw that over and just wrap them like so. Because then after I do this with the plastic, then I'm just going to be putting them into a bag. One of those freezer bags. So that's what I'm going to do here. Also, you can season these, which I don't do because this butter I'm going to use for baking, and I use unsalted butter for my baking. But you can definitely, add salt or any other seasoning that you want to, put in your butter. You can also do that too. While it's mixing, you just add it while it's mixing. So yeah, I'm going to put them in a baggie and stick them back in the freezer until I'm ready to use them. And so yeah, I want to thank all of you for watching. And I'll be talking to you again soon. And don't forget, there'll be a link to all the other participants in the description box below. Bye for now.